In this video, we're going to discuss the art and the science of architecture. And this applies to enterprise architecture, cloud architecture, security architecture, or any kind of architecture. What's so special about our roles is they're both an art and a science. And if you want to be great at the role, you'll have to balance both. You can't focus just on the science and you can't focus exclusively on this art. So I will discuss the science and the art of enterprise architecture, cloud architecture, and we'll talk about why the art is so critical as well. So I'm going to start with architecture, and I'm going to actually start with the art. And the reason I'm going to start with the art is I come from healthcare, and medicine is also an art and science. And the art of architecture, to me, is really the key to getting promoted. I've trained people on the art of architecture and the science of architecture. But as a rule, as we focus more on the art and the things that go along with the art of architecture, that's typically where we see the promotions to chief architect and other enterprise architect and other bigger architect roles. So let's talk about what is the art of architecture. The art of architecture is knowing which questions to ask and how and when to ask these questions. The art of architecture is about storytelling and visioning. Perhaps we're translating a complex architecture into a compelling vision that's going to inspire the C-suite and the board to invest in the architecture. The art of architecture is stakeholder influence, whether that's using emotional intelligence, exercising influence and diplomacy to align the stakeholders to get to a common business goal, for example. Architecture, art is creative trade-off balancing. Clearly, there's never going to be a great or a perfect solution, so we have to choose the best of what we have, because with every good positive thing, there's typically a negative thing that goes along with it. So that balancing trade-off to get to the results that the organization needs. Design thinking, again, is the art of architecture where we're applying creativity to model an abstract business concept like business capabilities and a future state architecture. So that goes into the art of architecture. It's very critical. There's more that goes into it. For example, executive presence, to be able to walk in, command the room, and communicate the strategy with clarity, confidence, and somehow impact the C-suite into doing what they need to do to help protect or grow their organizations. Negotiation and diplomacy is a big part of the architect role. Negotiating between stakeholders, for example, or being diplomatic in challenging situations. So that's a lot of the art of architecture. So let's talk about the science of enterprise architecture, cloud architecture, what have you. So frameworks, for example, and methodologies. We may have to map an organization strategy to an enterprise architecture framework like TOGAF or Zachman or something like that. We may be migrating an organization security to a framework like Zero Trust. Quantitative analysis, a big component of the science of architecture, where we're determining what the ROI might be on an architecture, or we're calculating risk, something to that effect. Definitely a big part of it. Some coming up with some kind of data-driven insights, where we leverage metrics, dashboards, metrics, what have you, to track various components of an architecture and the value of an architecture. Designing reference architectures and architecture patterns, coming up with proven blueprints to ensure consistency and stability as we roll systems out. Absolutely. Aligning standards and compliance is definitely part of the science of architecture, whether we're aligning to some kind of ISO standard or NIST standard or GDPR standard or HIPAA, for example, for healthcare. And the concept of systems thinking, and how does, if we look at the entire system as one system, how does it change in one part of the system impact another part of the system? And thinking about all the technologies we need to actually support our business goals, that is actually the science of architecture. So now the secret to any winning architecture is both. That art of architecture gets us the information we need about the business goals and making sure that we meet the stakeholders' needs and that we're solving business challenges. And then that science of architecture makes sure we can design the right system with the right return on investment and really meet those business and technology needs. So it's a marriage of both art and science. Now, as we move up in our roles and we start moving into more executive roles, it's much more of the art than the science, because now it's about bigger influence, leading larger architecture teams, creating bigger strategic blueprints that are across an entire enterprise versus something smaller that we might do earlier in our architect career. So art and science matter. And then as we move up, it becomes more art, more emotional intelligence, what have you, more leadership than it is more science when we're younger in our career. So if you desire to become an enterprise architect or a cloud architect or a security architect or an AI architect, we have 2 free weekly architecture webinars where we'll go over various architecture careers, what we do, for example, in these roles, the skills you'll need for that role, whether it be an enterprise architect or a security architect, how to stand out, get hired, and get your first architect role. And these webinars are completely free. So join us. You can join us by signing up in the description of this video. They're live on Zoom. We'll answer any questions you have, and we look forward to meeting you in one of these free architecture webinars. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Subscribe to our channel and hit the bell to be notified of new videos to assist you in your architect career. This is Mike Gibbs signing off for now, and I hope to see you in another video real soon. Take care.